How do you define yourself? This is actually a really important question. And in today's video, we're going to explore how you might be defining yourself and the ways that defining yourself could be a trap. All right. Welcome to the channel. I'm Kim Marie. I am a transformational life and leadership coach. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, hit like, share it with your friends. Let them know about this channel, because here we are all about empowering women to really align with their true nature, to remember who they are, reconnect to what matters, live more holistically, and truly aligned with your soul. All right, so today I want to talk about this question of how do you define yourself? All right, first of all, most of us, we define ourselves as the roles that we play. All right, if we're at a party and someone asks, who are you? Or what do you do? We talk about the position we have, I have a business, or I manage a team, or whatever it is. Or we talk about, I'm a mom and I am a wife to so-and-so, or whatever it is, right? Like this is to how we tend to answer the question, who are you? Or what do you do, right? But here's the thing, of course, those definitions can become very encapsulating, right? They box us in. They limit us to the roles that we play, and we start defining ourselves. The more we say, I'm so-and-so's mom, I'm so-and-so's wife, I'm so-and-so's boss, or I do this, or I have this role, or whatever, then the less we think about who we really are, right? And that definition may be slightly different for everyone. We're all unique beings. And of course, it's not going to be very, how shall I say, normal or maybe even acceptable to go to a party and say, oh, who am I? Well, I am a divine being of, creative gifts here on this planet Earth, right? We're not talking about trying to go there. What I want to do is bring attention to this idea of the ways in which we define ourselves, which might include some of those things like, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. So let's look first at this idea of what it means to define something. To define, by definition, means to establish authoritatively. Okay, to define is to establish authoritatively. So who's the author of your life? Who's the authority in your life, right? So you get to decide, not society, not the culture, not someone else, not what's acceptable. You get to decide who you are. You get to define yourself, because you are the authority on you, right? It's stating the significance of something. When we define something, we state its significance, all right? It also, this is literally a definition of what it means to define, is to limit completely. Now that's where I was talking about this idea that if we stick to our preconceived, boxed in, encapsulated definitions of ourselves, maybe based on society, maybe based on what we're used to, maybe based on the old stories that we have, then we can limit completely who we are, right? So what I want to invite here is the opportunity to constantly redefine yourself, or to even ask the question, are you even definable? What if we are undefinable? What if we as women, even as human beings, each of us unique in our own way, are completely undefinable? That's the concept I want to bring today in this video, is the idea that if you're struggling to define yourself, you might want to consider all the ways in which you're not definable. In fact, that's one of the things about the sacred feminine. She can't be put in a box. She can't be defined. It's also one of the aspects of soul, right? Our soul language is so nebulous. It's so all over the place. It can be very difficult to communicate soul experiences to other people because they tend to be kind of undefinable. Dreams are a way in which our soul speaks to us. How often do we struggle to understand our dreams or explain the dream to someone else or have it make any kind of sense, right? There's an aspect of soul language and the essence of our being undefinable. Yes, in this human existence, we might be a mother, we might be a manager, we might be a business owner, we might be a friend, a wife, a partner, whatever that is, and that's all fine. I'm not dissing any of that. I'm not saying that's a problem. What I'm saying is that too often we don't explore how we define ourselves, who's defining us, and if we are even definable in any particular way. We don't allow the definition of our being to expand, to grow, to change. We are dynamic beings. We are constantly changing. Even when I talk about aligning with and being true to our most empowered self, our true nature. True nature is not something static. It's not this pinnacle moment. I talk about this all the time. We are always in cycles. We are always growing. We are always developing, ebbing and flowing, climbing the mountain, going into the valley. This is such a part of our being. And so even our true nature is evolving and growing, right? We discover in one moment, this is our true nature, right? And then as we continue to learn and excavate and uncover more of ourselves, we realize, well, this is really our true nature now. This is who we are knowing ourselves to be. And we get to redefine ourselves. We get to reinvent ourselves. We get to reclaim ourselves, rebirth ourselves again and again and again through this process I talk about all the time, remembering who we are, reconnecting to our true values, re-envisioning new possibilities, and ultimately rebirthing ourselves. You can learn more about that on my Solace page, which describes my Solace program, and that is always available. And I usually launch a new cycle for those of you who like to start at the beginning. I always say there's no behind, there's no particular way. We're going through the cycle no matter what, always, and you can start anywhere in the cycle. But just like learning to read and write, sometimes you want to learn the ABCs before you can make words and sentences and put them into a particular format, right? And so sometimes we learn in linear ways, but that doesn't mean that the journey or the process or the experience is linear in any way. Just like defining ourselves should not be linear or boxed in or clear cut, right? We want to be able to evolve it and grow. So I would love to hear your thoughts. How do you define yourself? What do you see as new possibilities for defining yourself? Share in the comments, and be sure to subscribe, share this with others. Let's follow this path of empowerment together. Take care.